All right, that's right. Welcome again to the 9th annual Voices Open Mic and Literary Art Exhibition. My name is Lac Luster. I'll be your host today, and I'm excited to be here. You guys excited to be here?
Yes.
Kenny's excited. Scott's excited. Alex, are you excited? Sarah's excited. Angela, you excited? Everybody's excited! So we're going to kick it off with a poem. If that's cool, say cool. Cool. Sarah said cool. Anyone else want to say cool? Cool. Alright, I'm going to do a quick one, and then I'm going to give it to our first awesome poet today. And before I do that, though, I'm going to explain what today's event is. If you haven't been here before, you might not know. So, this event is really just the tail end of a whole artistic process that everyone in this room has probably participated in the last couple of months. Every year, we put a literary artist with a visual artist, and we tell them, hey, make collaborative artwork together. Poet, do a poem based on the painting. Painter, do a painting based on the poem. Do a completely collaborative concept and create something brand new together. Challenge yourself to move, beyond your comfort zone. We've done it 9 years in a row. We're here once again at the GFAC. Happy to be here, filling the walls. And so part of the atmosphere is we get to read our poetry out loud and everyone gets to enjoy it. But when you're up here, if you have poems on the wall or paintings and you want to point them out, be sure to tell everybody, check my stuff out over here, talk to me later over here, all that stuff. So the first poem I'm going to read is a real downer, but it's cool. I like it. It's just the first piece of the poem. First piece of Most Dangerous Thing. So it starts like this.
The indigenous are endangered, and the sprawl's been known to swallow strangers like a jungle. With forked tongues, gorillas gather on porcelain stages, scheming to feed that struggle. Now respect really beats paid praises, not to pop the bubble, but talent is wasted. Poverty's been hyped as true life, and instead a job involves selling hazes. Born shivering with thick skin coat of pride, a hide stolen by skinny jean racists. Primal chic as destructive as invasives. And tattooed with assuming gazes, these hip poachers from the mainland defined a preserved wasteland out of our brick lane stable. Pacifying kids in cages, drugged and bobbing hooked by lines of cable. Sidewalk cafes serving status and the safety of reserved tables. As game, we live in haste and evolve when we are able, reclaiming cracks in the pavement, using fame to feed the struggle, blaming systematic hustle, but the truth it's only mumbled. Now no one expects you to save us. Credit card transfer dreams, scrap pipes to make payments, think rumble, not flight. Invest in confidence, bank on true statements. If you catch my drift, you cannot fumble. Paychecks can pay for life's phases, but the change is only subtle. We're horses reborn feral. Surviving the dead of night, silent, foaming, careful. Seeing new dreams from all new sides, the blinding, straight and narrow. You are here, fight to rewrite maps and draw new arrows. The rotten power lines vine, tower and climb above those who tripped and tumbled. Above spaced out heater huddles, the change it's only subtle. Brick metals bloom with grit and grime, abandoned forest house remains in rubble. Half towns are burnt alive, but it only feeds the struggle. We were born to blame the systematic hustle, born test rats for electric haterade and institutions bound to crumble. A habitat designed for breeding low-life scum and trouble. High-rise buildings taken as trophies, ashen children forced to stumble. And sidewalk cracks are getting bigger as more spirits haunt the trigger, as the victims clutch their fingers, fearful of their neighbors. Nothing works and everyone labors. The stabber hunted daybreak in darkness on safari for hope and swagger, or wildlife to them. Beasts once tame, now lame or haggard. Our herds thin out and stagger. These predators can be captured like venomous snakes. Their fables keep them raptured. They pray in grassy chapels. We prayed on the apples, but they're fermented in a tonic. When they've drunk off of the knowledge, lost from the moon, happy howling, cuckoo, ka-choo. My palate looks like this, but scowling. Your eyes are bejeweled, hollow points squeezed by ivory rings. There's blood on your shoes, young bucks like me with horns removed, egos bruised. The hunted, desperate, learn to see. The hungry, fed up, yearn to feed. Decay's got a lively following. So slaughter tourist pigs and slab their meatless ribs, gravy, gassy, and butchered wallowing. There's cavities in the canines and arrogance like pride out prowling. Leaving lasting legacies, deliberate with depravity. We're all dead-eyed decoys strung up by gravity. Pendulums in the clockwork running out of time. Our children mean mug the sun for shine. Regression gnawing on the spine. Epitomize unraveling because bitter grapes make better wine. So please help me welcome up Brian Bellows to the stage.
Thank you, Lac Luster.
Oh.
first time contributing to this event, and I'm really excited about it. I host an open mic locally. I've been hosting it. I'm in my 13th year. It's a carryover from the Borders open mic. And this Thursday at Lunch Studio, roughly 6 to 9, that's when my open mic is going to be. Generally it's music, but by all means, you know, we have we have at least one regular in the house, and you'll hear from Angie a little later. Okay, my first piece is Echinacea. Echinacea. I glide across the somber summer valley on wings that just do not know when to quit. A scent ascends above a solemn alley. My search for sucre sated, I alit, and, sentry-like, I stake this long-stemmed tower. With grace and grail, I veil, inhale, inspect her. A pageant, calm, fragrant, frail comb flower, a trembling I kneel. Please reveal to me your nectar.
Yeah.
My partner on this collab event is my sister Carrie, and she contributes 3 pieces of photography, and I wrote 3 poems based on these photographs. This next poem I'm going to read is based on a photograph taken at the zoo up in between Bertrand and Frankenmuth. I was with her when she took this photograph, and she took it at the peacock cage, and the peacock wasn't particularly cooperative, so that's the point of view that I've taken in this poem. And it's blank verse, free verse, which I generally don't write from, but it's written from the point of view of the peacock. I am not trained. You cannot simply grab a coin or two, put it in the slot, expecting I'll perform for you. At your will and cue, I will not. I emanate beauty, put rainbows to shame, yet here confined, I refuse to play a game. You see, I would bite the hand, yes, that feeds me. My beauty is mine, not to share. Return those coins to your pocket. I will not prostitute the treasure that is me. Return those eyes to their socket. I will not dignify any measure of my awe, which the likes of you confronts. Never, never, never. Okay, just this once. I'm reading these in the order that I wrote them, so I'm going to step away from the photography, and now I'm going to address Jenny Munch's painting. But it's a painting that depicts the storefront of the independent music owner Jeff Lepard's place, which is on the way into and probably technically in Swartz Creek.
Yes.
There aren't many independent music shops in the Flint area at all. There's probably, I'm sure there's less than 6, and there's probably only like 2, 3, or 4. And his was something of an institution, I guess.
Yeah.
And Jeff passed away 2 years ago. I didn't know Jeff very well, but I knew him enough that he would address me by my first name when he met me, and he was a very quiet sort of guy, kind of like me, reminded me a lot of me, and that he was probably even introverted. But the fact that he would know you without, you know, and be able to call you by your name, your first name, spoke quite well of who he was. Yeah. Jeff Lepard. Jeff Lepard departed early, and in the shadow of his journey, draped a tangible drone of silence. So now, when bows seek out the violins, we are enriched and overjoyed, and contemplate this great man's void. And though our grief offers small immunity, we are humbled by this man's community, and embrace his quiet gentleness. Jeff has left, and we are blessed.
Wow, that's great. Makes me think of when he had those glass cabinets. He asked them for some kind of special strings. And he goes, oh, I don't know, you know, and they open up these old glass cabinets and go through these little wooden shelves and find a package or whatever it is you were looking for. And then he'd give you a deal on it.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, it's again sad that there's not really many, we have to kind of go to a big warehouse to buy
Yeah.
our instrumental stuff.
Yep.
The last one is a photo that my sister took of her grandchildren. And I wanted to kind of get set a tone of kind of a dreamy adventure with 4 little boys, kind of a, not so much a nightmare adventure, and that's what I wrote here, and this was the last piece I wrote, and it's called 4 Little Pods. Above the bed, not far from his pillow, sits a dream catcher, handmade of hemp and of willow. But I am not tired, are the last words he utters, when beneath his eyelids the universe flutters, and he and his cousins are transformed to pods and glide through the heavens in the image of gods. Where clouds open up to a star-speckled cavity, the awake world is ended, suspended like gravity. These tadpoles swim freely, ignoring the bobber, which is only the moon, and in search of a harbor. And onward they float, without tether or boat. Oh, look at the moon. Is it orange? Is it copper? Perhaps it's a cork, so let's pull the stopper. So they remove the moon. What else could ensue? Because when you're asleep, there's so much to do. But a chide from inside offers, return the cap, for you'll surely be lost, and you haven't a map. Hey there, strange voice with your ears out of joint. We are already lost. In fact, that's the whole point. So 4 little pods, yes, all of the 4 sit and await and wonder as they stare through the orbit. Forgive me, said strange voice. Please pardon my ladder, for you see, I'm in need of relieving my bladder. And boys, 2 by 2, who on cue knew the take-up, and without much ado read the clue, and did wake up, slightly ill-tempered and blurry of vision. Tomorrow night we will finish our mission, and in this very room we'll resume, nay, complete. But by then, I hope Ma will have changed out the sheet. Thank you.
Yeah. Give it up for Brian.
Thank you very much, Brian. So I just want to remind you guys, we have an open mic list right here. There's a lot of blank spaces, Ryan Bellows, and anyone else who wants to get up there. I'm going to read one of my voices pieces if that's cool.
Cool.
Thank you, Jenny. I assume it is cool. So just so you guys know, Brian's piece with Jenny is right there. Jeff's music right next to Justin Faber in the red. His other 3 pieces are right here by Allie. There's 3 photography things, and then right next to that's the piece I'm going to read, which is a Megan Orange
And you're
piece.
gonna, but after you mentioned that we got shirts and raffle tickets,
We got a raffle. It's $1. What do you win?
half of the money that's brought in.
It's a 50-50 raffle, so the more tickets you buy, the more you win.
I think it's
We have
simple.
food in the back. Feel free to grab some, pop, all sorts of good stuff. This is for a young artist.
Megan, you were a paintbrush dripping with color in a crowd of blank canvases. Your kind eyes saw the thinnest frescoes of your friends, still 10 steps behind, sketching out what they want their lives to look like. Megan, you were a canvas too. You were a picture of young talent in a cold world. Your smile, a frame richly adorned in gold. No one gets the luxury of stepping back and appreciating their own accomplishments after the fact. But your unfinished masterpiece of a life will forever hang in the museum of our hearts, silently on display, speaking for itself. Please tell me welcome up to Scott Russell.
You gotta clap for yourself. Everyone else is clapping for you.
Embarrassing.
Oh,
Okay.
and
We're trying not to jump.
did you say you wanted me to only show your feet in the video?
No, I didn't
Okay,
say
okay.
that. I didn't say that.
I thought that was what we were discussing earlier. I don't
That'd
know.
be kind of fun though, wouldn't it? You know, it's like, you can see how my foot twitches when I...
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the reason.
Once again, give it to Scott Russell.
Thank you. I think I'm sitting on a table.
It probably
It's
is.
a table.
Yeah, I think it is.
They tell you it's a bench, but it's a table.
Use your imagination.
I use my imagination to write the poems, huh? Okay, I was collaborating with Justin Faber, and then at the very last minute, by a fellow named Hank. Hank.
Just walked out.
What's his last name?
That is his last name.
Last name.
That is what?
Hank.
Nathan.
Nathan Hank,
Yeah.
okay. Huh, that's cool.
He asked that we
He said
not
his name was
use
Hank.
both names together like that,
Okay.
remember?
Nathan Hank, okay. So Nathan Hank's piece is right back there. And then Justin's pieces are right over there. They're a triptych of a magic figure. So I got one called Miracle that's going to go with that one back there, but I'm going to do that last because I have this obligation to Justin. Okay. So Justin, I hope I don't disappoint you, but I'm going to also do a poem to the fire extinguisher, because all art galleries have a fire extinguisher. And if you're walking around an art gallery, you'll come to the fire extinguisher and you'll think it's art. To the fire extinguisher in the art gallery. Of all the hells you did not deserve for some minor transgression, since you have done nothing, obviously, yet. Or is it the impure thought you think each time the lights come on and two art student lovers, one suspicious man, a family from out of town, and a bored Philistine security guard softly echo onto empty space surrounded by abstract things? Is it that you dream for them as they step back to admire what appears to be the edge of a frame? Then one always moves a station left to look at you and realize you are what you are. He leans down to probe the way his hair extends beyond some concept of himself, then slightly smiles when he realizes it's a kind of joke. Something must fail to be what it is not. Okay, the second piece I'm going to do is one that I think kind of goes with the triptych, but then the last one was written specifically for the triptych. Justin and I were working really hard this week at our different jobs, and so we didn't get a chance to do everything we planned. So we're just pretending we did everything. This one's called Aversa Was, and it actually was originally written for the Van Gogh painting. Van Gogh was in pretty bad shape when he was doing this, and because he used to suck his brush to get into a point, and that meant he was eating a lot of paint and thinner. So that's one of the reasons he went mentally bad. Absently minded, honing brush between his lips, he watches Gauguin's dancers in the sky and replicates the motion of their hips. The late spring days confuse him to the eye. And like a shelf of volumes on the Oise, with tales of unexpected human woe, the village slumbers through the painter's noise, as silence lingers after breezes blow. A fiction in the center ground returns from nothing unto nothing after lunch. A crime awaits the innocent, she learns. The history is Marx, her scream is milk. This was a perfect world when it was young, but tastes like turpentine upon the tongue.
Whoa.
This is Magic 3. This is like the third one in the bunch. The other two aren't quite ready yet. So if you look at the triptych back there, you can see, it'll make sense. Magic 3. I reach out from a perfect lightless void and stars appear, those eyes of energy that watch us watch them from our asteroid, at distances too far for sympathy. Between my separated fingertips exists a possibility of power. The way a word rests on reluctant lips, where moments eat the entrails of hour. Between opposing hands an orb exists, idea of ideal reality. Illusion of a distance that subsists on pure imagination, and we see. The night is around us empty as a hat. The stones are slowly gathering, we rise upon our their strange and ad hoc ziggurat. Our truth composed of these negated lies, this exercise in headstrong fantasy, assembles into myth and narrative and illustration of psychology. From countless objects to the few that live. And we believe like children in our beds who dream this terrifying omnibus. This is the way it is inside our heads. This is the way the world is made of us. And this is the second poem titled Miracle I saw. Kelly has one back there called Milagro, which is the same thing. So this is called Miracle. This goes with the wave that almost killed Hank. Evidently that's the last thing he saw before he was washed up on the beach someplace for surfing. You huh? Attempting to surf. Yeah, you crazy fool. Okay, well, he got a painting out of it though. He wasn't painting while it happened. Okay. Miracle. There is this tiny fraction in the reading. Across the light outside where I once played, this wall of windows always makes me feel each station where the cross will be delayed. The sermon is itself eternity. Within the sound, a many-headed beast consumes this balance of humanity. They understand it best that listen least. The logic builds a scaffold to its rent, as if faith carried grievance in its load. The light shines through the stained glass at a slant that bends apostle noses out of joint. Out where Golgotha terminates the road, it takes a human heart to get the point. Thank you.
And this is an old one I like. It's a letter to arsonists.
Go ahead. Burn it all. But count on nothing being changed but the ugly peeling paint and columns of smoke replacing pillared skyline shade. Everything seems more hopeless as arson artists chisel out a brand new mess from anger and unhappiness with molten memos filling demolition lists. Hate mail, self-addressed, signed with a gasoline kiss.
Well, there we go.
If raised sane, ashamed of flaming inheritance. Fed up with sordid heroes, founders and today all the same. Breaking all our basket eggs into brownfield stains and live grenades. No master plan in 50 years, but we're still all slaves while freedom flees play rat race cage. A brick tide's crashing waves drown hopes of rehabbed haze. Everything's washed away but truth and rage. So frustrated people set ablaze or pray to escape. Swallowing pride with deep-seated hate, this circus city's clowns joke around with money and lie until it's lost. Wasting time on run-down cogs in a three-ring broken watch. Lately, though, I've come to blame idealized fame, the city stripped of wits by whips and encouraged when a dropout race to bridge card slips. As descendants of factory fodder, we inherit mounds of shit, and at most, forgetfulness. Defeatists dealing with decades of loser rants and paid-off silences. But our future is not in flames, or at least not yet. Outsourcing's aim was to discredit social gains and pile people with debt. Now there are two prevailing camps of thought for living here today. Either singe away sarcoma homes, know in their place nothing better will ever grow, or give up. Burn a blunt and don't worry about changing what you never cared to really know. This town is like a dentist office. And gummy curbs house holes where homes were pulled to save box-tooth blocks and smiling lanes from roof decay and rotting away. Any second to choose to change the game and refuse to play Firebomb, Monopoly, or pop off Matic Trouble will fly a city or tear itself down for room to breathe, or live some dumb fantasy that preserve its rich history of rubble. Please help me welcome up Angela Peters to the stage. Read it also.
This song is kind of sad, but I hope you still enjoy it, and we're all adults here, so I hope you're not offended by it.
No.
God says, be fruitful and multiply. May my good multiply and have you. My refuge, you guys, and your broken heart. When the doctors said I had little coffee, everyone I knew got and wanted to reproduce. Know what I mean? I tried to take part in this. My baby only lived for 28 days, and I was single after I had her. I wanted to reproduce and help them. No, not me. I have cerebral palsy. I just inspire people with the words I write. I've been inspired and then you come me right away. I miss the water right out of my body. When the microphone is turned up, it's just me talking to Jesus under my bellows blanket.
Yeah.
In case you didn't hear, God said to be fruitful and multiply. When my parents multiplied and had me, my life was divided into broken parts. When the doctor said I had cerebral palsy, everyone on earth got invited to reproduce. No, not me. I tried to take part in this. My baby only lived for 28 days, and I was single after I had her. The man I had her with was never right for me. Blood was coming out of my body more than one time while I was carrying my baby. Everyone got invited to reproduce and have a family. Oh no, not me. I have cerebral palsy. I just inspire people with the words I write. I wish I could inspire a man to kiss me regularly. I wish I could rip the homes right out of my body. When the microphone is turned off, it's just me talking to Jesus on my bedroom blankets.
I'm gonna read one more.
Read one more.
I just wrote this in I'm trying to find the one I just wrote, but I can't find it right now, and I know we're in a hurry, so I'm not going to read this one.
Do you have another one you want to read though? We got time.
Yeah. I'm going to find it after I read this one in the chair.
Yeah. Read this one.
Okay. Some people don't like the reality that they live in, so they run and run. Some people run away from reality because sin traps them, driven by the heart every day. When reality chases them down, they run again and again until they are chasing circles. Most of the time, I don't like my reality. But the fact that I can't walk, even if my wife would make a good reality TV show, other things I have failed to mention. Even still, when I run away from my reality, I pour my life into others, making them smile.
Some people don't like the reality that they live in, so they run and run. Some people run away from reality because pain jabs them inside the heart every day. When reality chases them down, they run again and again until they are chasing circles. Most of the time, I don't like my reality life, like the fact that I can't walk. Even if my life would make a good reality TV show, other things I have failed to mention. Even still, when I run away from reality, I pour my life into others to make them smile.
You want me to try to find that one?
Yeah, we can do one more, right?
Yeah. So did everybody try the snacks back there? Man, the lunch studio had some salmon.
We got catered
Had-
lunch studio.
yeah.
This nice like vegan or vegetarian
It's like
zucchini
salsa.
dip thing. in the
Yeah, like a
back with,
salsa's
like
great.
Toast points or something like that.
Yeah.
And, salmon dip.
Yeah.
Salmon.
It's salmon.
Yeah, smoked salmon.
And you're the English major, right?
Anthropology.
I found it, and this is a little more uplifting, and I
Okay.
just wrote this, and I wanted to read it because I know my first poem was very depressing, and I'm sorry about that.
So this one's a little more uplifting, and she's glad she found it. I think she knows the first one was still a little depressing. Sorry about that, but we're happy to hear it anyway.
Me, who am I? I am me. There are no one like me. Sometimes I think my body is broken. As a woman I am strong. I guess in God's eyes, He made me exactly the way I was supposed to be. So with that said, I am me, and there is no one like me. And I couldn't wait the day because you had always called me up. I wrote that this by Nickel.
Really?
Awesome. All right, so she wrote that 5 minutes ago. That's why there's no idea.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really nice one. It goes like this. Me? Who am I? I am me. There's no one like me. Sometimes I may think that my body is broken, and as a woman I am strong. I guess in God's eyes, He made me exactly the way I was supposed to be. So with this said, I am me, and there's no one else like me.
Yeah.
Okay, Angela. So up next we got Ryan Bellows. Is Ryan Bellows in the room?
No.
Ryan? Oh, there he is.
Well, that's Ryan Bellows?
Give it up for Ryan Bellows. Welcome him to the stage.
Hey, thanks everyone for coming out, man. It's kind of thin out here today. Like last year we had tons of people here, but that's okay. It's not about how many people are here. It's about the people that are here. So that's great. My voices partner this year is my friend / cousin Stephanie Bennett, and she's a crochet artist. So we had met up and discussed this project, and she was going to crochet like this big thing, and then she decided to do like a multimedia thing. So our piece is kind of like towards the back there. You can't see it from here, but when you go to the table, you'll see it's like right in front. Anyway, so she did like this crochet and multimedia stuff, so it's kind of cool. So that was her first time she's ever been shown in a gallery or anything like that. So she was a little nervous, but she was kind of sick today, so she didn't want to get everyone else ill. So anyway, the first poem that we used for the collaboration, basically I gave her 3 poems, and she just drew inspiration from those poems to make her art. The first one is called Art Is, and I really wrote this specifically for the Voices Project. Art is a process and a collaboration of the senses. Art is like nature, which is also a process and a celebration of the senses. Art is an expressive means of conveying ideas which suppress or uplift an individual during times of crisis, despair, or abundance. Art is a natural process. Thanks, man. I always feel weird when people clap because, like, you know, I want to be very, like, how do you know what the word for it is? But I really want to say thanks, man, for clapping and all that. Woo! Dan Doolin's in the house.
Yeah, he just wanted me to videotape him.
So I'm really awkward with public speaking, and there's really only a few of you guys here. Like, I know everyone's sitting here, so I guess I know everyone's standing over there, so that's cool. This next poem, I think that the 2 other pieces kind of fit together somehow. One of them is called Thoughts of a Broken Man on the Street Corner, and I was just kind of thinking about a homeless person and what their thoughts might be about why they're there and all that stuff. And then the one that goes with it, or the one that the other piece seems to kind of go with it, is called Destiny, so I'll read that one next. Thoughts of a broken man on the street corner. My mind is vacant of jazz nightclubs, martinis and fine cigars, classy women riding around in cars. I've been frequenting rundown bars, sleeping in alleyways, bumming lucky strikes from passers-by. I can't muster the urge to try. If I weren't a grown man, I'd break down and cry. And if I were a stronger man, I'd wipe the darkness from my eye. I'd get on my feet and try. I am everything I feared I would become. My future is tainted with self-fulfilling prophecies. My reality is painted with mediocrities. My perception needs an intervention, some attention to the contention that life is what you make of it.
Oh, wow. You need a hug, Brian.
It's kind of like a long time. Well, that didn't happen to me. Like, I was just kind of thinking of a guy that would be in that situation.
Oh, okay.
You know? Because
Oh, I feel better now.
homeless. I did stay at the shelter one weekend. You know, that's the closest I've ever been being homeless. And let me tell you, if you ever spend a weekend at the shelter, you'll know not to end up homeless. So this other one's called Destiny. I suppose finding your destiny is a lot like learning to walk. In the beginning, it is awkward, with crawling being the primary means of mobility. I suppose when we're young, we muster something, the urge to stand, and once we've brought our feet to the floor, we take our first steps, finding ourselves closer to the other side of the room. And as we get on in years, we become closer to realizing our destiny. I'm amazed. Destiny isn't always a destination, but it's the steps we're taking that lead us closer to the reality we are meant to know. Thanks, man. Appreciative. That was the word that I was looking for earlier. I feel very appreciative when people clap, but I never feel like I adequately convey my appreciation. So like, people are just like, we just clap for you. You seem like such a jerk. You know, you don't respond. Anyway, this last poem is just a fun one. It's a work in progress, but as a poet, you should write about social issues or things that are relevant in this time frame, to keep your work current. And so I decided to write a poem about all you hula hooper girls out there. And this is what I got so far. Hooper Ladies is what it's called. Drawn from the history of popular culture is this ring of magic, animated by the curve of the female body, resurrected by an unknown source and thrown into the mix of late night bonfires, musical happenings, and festivities of any kind. The hula hoop frees the mind, complements the curve of the female form in a cardiovascular display of free spiritual movement.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. So do we got like time to use up, or are we like on
It's a 6-hour open mic, man.
All right. Do you guys want to hear a little bit of my explanation of how the voices came about, or whatever?
Yes, please.
Jenny's heard this story.
No, that one's good. Oh, wait, that's a good one. You can tell.
So when the creative line started, one day I was sitting at the lunch studio, and Corey and Sia Niafratisos, who turned out to be our first treasurer at the Creative Lines, we're in the lunch studio, and they gave me a flyer about this thing they were working on. I sat down and chatted with them, so I decided to join this Creative Lines. I thought it was a good idea, and it had a lot of potential. So then when I started coming around meetings, I thought, well, I had this novel that I was working on, so I thought they really need a writing team, And so I scheduled some events, which we didn't really even have a name for yet. We just scheduled this time to meet all these local writers and share. We had a bunch of people from the Craig Lions come. There was probably 20 people or something. It was the first time we got together. There wasn't even room for everyone to sit down. And so that was like and then the next week there was maybe like 15 or 12, and then it narrowed down to about 5 or 6 of us, or 4 or 5 of us. And then so we started having these discussions about visual artists working with poets or whatever, trying to kind of collaborate or whatnot. And we just talk about all this stuff all the time. And so that's kind of where the voices kind of came from. When I started the Writers Circle, I made up a little outline. One of those goals was to have like an annual event, and I was going to call it the Writers Harvest, just to kind of show the Creative Lions our progress that we made, kind of trying to unite the writing community. And so that was the Writing Harvest was our first event that happened here in 2005, and then the second year we planned the Writers Harvest, the second annual Writers Harvest, but I ended up missing the event because of some personal stuff, and actually that was the night that I stayed at the homeless shelter. So it's really a long story, but after that I kind of dropped out of the stuff for a while, to deal with my personal bullshit, Anyway, so at the second event is the first time that we put together the writers and the visual artists, and then the third year they just called it Voices. That was the year they decided just to call the event Voices rather than the Writers Harvest. So that's kind of how it came about. That's a little history there. The Writers Circle's still going, man. For about 3 years we met at Churchill's, and was more of an open sharing of things you've written versus working on this stuff as much, And so now I'm switching it back to where we're actually working on the material and stuff. And it's slow progress, but I'm keeping it going, man. This guy's, I have to remind him 3 hours before the event, before the Writers Circle. Anyway, I think I took up enough time, so don't forget to come out to Collab Night once a month, and then bi-monthly we have the Support Local Poet Open Mic that Nick helps us host, and in December Brad Fielder is going to play a set for us and read some of his poems, and thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. So
we have a poem here from Drew Nelson. I want to make sure I get this in on the video. Drew couldn't be here today, but his poem is called My Soul Symphony. Not too far away, not too close to feel the energy of loving souls. Climbing mountains, adventures shared, watched morning sun rise in the sky, then watched as evening fell in her eyes. My soul, I found, speaks in waves, echoes the sound of love inside the walls around the heart, music that only angels draw out. So that's from Drew. And I got a piece here that is a Voices collaboration with Michael Vance. It's in the back. It's a picture of like the desk and everything. And this was kind of cool because he gave me an idea, very general, like scene, imagery, and a phrase, and the phrase was his armor of falsity or something like that, and I didn't know what the hell that meant, so I just made something up, and this is what I got from it. Entering mindless data on Excel sheets at his desk, he slipped away into a daydream. The overhead bulbs and computer screen unraveled out of focus in the blurs of light like rays of a summer sun filling his view. He felt the warmth of remembered friends and family camping out and raging until ragged, happily disheveled in Ohio pastures. His party years had passed, but he could feel nostalgia's pull back to the bleary-eyed music festivals and sweaty joy of a thunderous crowd. Thousands of revelers, dancing, swaying, drinking, spaced out under the stars, loving life into the late hours of the night. The tie suddenly seemed to taut around his neck. He wondered if he was killing himself, trying to live like his parents. He wondered if his new path was purposeless. If he could ever be himself at work and show his tattooed flesh outside the camouflage of a suit. He wondered if his dress shirt sleeves, like an armor of falsity, were long enough to hide the inky chainmail draped across his skin. Beneath this clean-cut facade, he thought, is a young life dangerously well spent, like an archive of state secrets that must be kept silent. Whole pictures of a person aren't meant to fit on a resume. They're meant to fill a library like Alexandria, and then when time comes for change, adulthood begins with the past burnt away. So that's that. That's in the back by the food. We have plenty of. Everyone's interested. Go get yourself a big heaping plate of sweets and dips and all sorts of cool stuff. This next poet's pretty phenomenal, so I hope you guys enjoy him. I know I will. Please help me welcome up Nathan Haskins. It's a very genteel clap.
Thank you. Cushion's not on very good, huh? I like that.
It's a table.
I know. You're absolutely right. I spent a lot portion of my life with the addiction problem. I can say that now because it's likely gone and past. I don't write about it much, but every now and then he sneaks in. This is called Heavy Price. An aerial view of ivory white river polluted with the junk. Vantage point of God, quite a different optical lens. Destruction, creation, neither much different in light of omnipresence. I am Shiva the Destroyer. Warm rays of empathy rush over me as river dries up to nothing. I forget her face, I forget her touch, I forget her presence. Just nothing as it should be, as it truly ever is. Such much needed break, such rush of euphoria, I would trade my very soul. Sign on the dotted line, he said. All right, this is an old one, but it's a goodie to me, I like it. It's called That's Something. Neon lights and mirrors, mahogany wood and sticky floors, heavy air, familiarity, and low lighting to hide my ugly mug. It all screams welcome home. It feels good to have a place to belong, even if no one knows your name. They know my poison, though, and that's almost as good as a name. That's something. They all look at me strange with my pencil and paper, but that is okay. Weird will get you second looks, which is so much better than being glanced right over. And they come, drink after drink, nice and strong, each one saying, welcome home. And that's something. The lady across the bar is making eye contact with me. We play the game, darting eyes bringing forth cessation, dancing, playing, yes, playing the game. She's not the best looking of broads, or rather plain Jane, but she's got those legs, the kind that start here and stretch forever. And that's something. It's not long before I'm reeling her in. It's always been best for me to let them do the work. I don't give a shit about all the things she starts saying, bits and pieces of all of her troubles, the regular old quack job of a patient rolling up her sleeve to show me her scars. And really, when I have so many of my own packed and tucked away, how could I give a shit? So I just focus on those legs, those heavenly legs, and nod my head and pretend to listen. And that's something. I don't like the way that man is looking at me, she says with a drunken and slurred accent. Oh yeah? Yeah, you gonna do something about it? I pull out my best Bogart. Sorry babe, can't help you there. Why not? That man is twice my size. He'd beat the shit out of me. I'm not against a beating, but quite frankly, you're just not worth it. At least I was honest, and that's something. I was golden. Now she'd be set on proving just how worth it she was. And so, in the long and short, we'd fuck. There'd be no love, just two people alone together, and that's something. She'd probably end up wanting to save me. They always do, but it's too late for that. Bigger have tried, better have tried, and now she was going to try. She'd failed, but still, she'd try. And that's something. So, I'll fuck her. And maybe I'll even wait until morning to throw her out of the bed. She'll be tossed out the door to my fading words stating, sorry babe, thanks for the fuck, but you're still just not worth it. But I'll wait till the morning at least. And that's something, isn't it?
Whoa.
All right, I'll get a little nicer now.
Okay.
Every now and then, gotta be, misogynistic. All right, this is called A Conversation About the Meaning of Life. In a distant field with secrets concealed stood an ever so old aging tree. Near babbling brook, directly in look, his roots planted down far and deep. He'd been standing there for several years and had seen much of all in his days. This tree, this willow, stretched with a glow in the noontime sun's warming rays. His branches they laced like tears down a face, his trunk so incredibly wide, and they swept to the ground when the wind came around, throwing debris from his sides. His only friend on whom he could depend was the neighboring willow nearby. He came indeed from the elder's own seed and stood still so young, very nigh. The two on that day had much to say as they conversed about many a thing. They talked to the squirrels, the beautiful birds, and the lovely songs they sang. But the younger had more he wished to implore that had been causing him very much strife. The main, as of late, that caused mental debate was, what is the meaning of life? He asked his old friend if he could help wend a course for the answer he sought, and the older did laugh on his own behalf, for the answer he claimed he knew not. But in truth he did know a lot more than he showed to his younger and dear apprentice, but he wished not to be, nor even to seem to the younger, far too pretentious. The younger then asked, still set on his task, surely you know more than you say. You're old and wise, as shown by your size, and have stood far beyond all my days. My time has been short, and I cannot extort the answer I had hoped you would tell, but please reconsider your act which has hindered my thoughts from again being well. For my mind is plagued with each passing day the answer to what I have asked. I fear the long run that with each new sun my chance to know will have passed. The older again laughed and grinned at his small and still naive friend. Do not now fret, for the time is yet to come close to my bitter end. But I see your worry with your last show of fury, so I'll answer the best way I know. That brook that you see can say better than me the answer you wish to be shown. The brook rattled by with the fierce churning cries and sped on its long-lasting route. The older was sure that the speeding water knew exactly what life was about. The younger one looked at the majestic brook and saw not what the larger one seen. It looked just the same as the water and rain that poured down each year in the spring. He looked up at his wiser, his lifelong advisor, with a bewildered and puzzling stare, then said with the tone of a frustrated groan, I'm afraid that I see not nor care. For your words, they are much wiser by far than most that I have ever heard, but I see not this time what you see in your prime, for that, I assure you, is just water. And the older looked down with a fearful frown and said to his younger dear friend, I knew you would not see as you ought, but perhaps you shall in the end. For I assure you, young one, as sure as the sun will rise each and every new day, that there is so much more in that brook to adore than what it is that you say. When you get to be tall and your leaves do fall just to never be grown back again, you will glance at that brook with an eye-widening look and see what was seen by your friend. The sounds it does make and the feel of its wake is more than enough of a clue, and someday you will be truly thrilled when you see that my words do ring true. I have watched the curves the brook must serve, waning and waxing from thin to wide, and no matter though if it is fast or slow, the water continues to stride. So at times it is rough, while others quite sloth, but forever persist to go. I have been for much and seen just as such, as how with certainty I know. And in my years I have seen many tears fall to the ground where we stand. From hearts being broke and death's firm choke, they slip through face-covered hands. Still I've seen tears fall just like them all to the same place as those of before, due to hearts of joy which wish to deploy that which warms their souls to the core. And these tears collect with unrealized neglect to form a brook of their own, and it makes its way off the day to the distant and fearful unknown. That, my friend, I do contend is the answer you've been trying to seek, for we are all but one in life's lasting song, cloaked and gowned in mystique. The answer's not there, or at least all too clear, of life's secret and hidden meaning. Perhaps like the brook, we are meant not to look, just simply to keep flowing and moving. And then with that, his final comment, the greater willow stretched towards the sky. The day was late and the moon could not wait to climb into the heavens so high. The younger one thought of what he'd been taught as he watched the sun's final rays. He watched that brook move, following the grooves that were paved before the oldest first days. He tried to compare in the now chilling air life in the moving old babbling brook. He glanced at the beginning, then out towards the ending and the long curvy path that it took. But he could not see like the great older tree and decided to give up the chase. What he had failed to see unveiled was that the two were one and the same. Good for now. For now.
For now?
Yeah.
And that's the point. You know, we got this open mic list. It's an all-day thing. If anyone else wants to get up right now, we have time.
We can put you on the stage, we can give you a microphone, you can sound like Jesus or God or whatever else you worship. No? Alright, I'm just gonna read a few short ones and then we're gonna take a break from the soap mic for like a half hour.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This is really short. I want to drift away on life raft tabs of LSD, lost for centuries or so it seems, from the blanket high seas that make islands out of you and me. So that's short. Yeah, thank you.
Can you say it again because it'll be long?
Oh, it will be longer. And, I think it's funny. A few years further in the script of living, and besides blackouts and blinkings, it's all French scenes to me. One continuous moment, never fully ending with a pause for applause, just a change in characters, like a change in t-shirts, all the same size and fit, just fronting different images. With every short-term dream achieved, two more pop up, germinated by the possibility bloomed out of my previous activity in the cosmic spring that energizes me. The only real way to measure a life like any other play is to wait until after the last bow has been taken. I want the sum of my accomplishments divided by my age when I die times the number of people I convince that it's not hopeless and there can be a better world to be the true count of my time in this one. Either my work will speak, or I'll still born as a whisper on the bookshelf, my unrecorded last words, some dumb cliche.
Yeah. Who was that?
Yeah. Don't even worry about it. All right. You get your snacks on. And don't forget, we have plenty of salmon dip in the back. So I'm just going to read a quick one before this next poet comes up here, if that's cool. This is a poem by Thomas Sayers Ellis, which is kind of making fun of just these college students, these MFA students, and how they would kind of steal these older styles to make their poems work. And he would say, if you saw the video, this very dry and academic voice. So I'll try to emulate that a little bit. This is called All Their Stanzas Look Alike. All their fences, all their prisons, all their exercises, all their agendas, all their stanzas look alike. All their metaphors, all their bookstores, all their plantations, all their assassinations, all their stanzas look alike. All their rejection letters, all their letters to the editor, all their arts and letters, all their letters of recommendation, all their stanzas look alike. All their sexy coverage, all their literary journals, all their car commercials, all their bribe-spiked blurbs, all their stanzas look alike. All their favorite writers, all their writing programs, all their visiting writers, all their writers in residence, all their stanzas look alike. All their third worlds, all their World Series, all their serial killers, all their killing fields, all their stanzas look alike. All their state grants, all their tenure tracks, all their artist colonies, all their core faculties, all their stanzas look alike. All their selected collecteds, all their Oxford Nortons, all their Academy Societies, all their Oprah Wendlers, all their stanzas look alike. All their hallowed holocausts, all their coy hetero couplets, all their hollow hallowed causes, all their tone-deaf tercets, all their stanzas look alike. All their tables of contents, all their poet laureates, all their Ku Klux classics, all the Supreme Court justices, except one, exceptional or not, one is not enough. All their stanzas look alike. Even this, after publication, might look alike. Disproves my stereotypes. Thomas Sayers. Please keep that clap going for our next poet. Give it up for Michael Kelly.
Thank you to the faithful remnant. Thank you to those who have self-selected as people who are willing to come out on a cold, damp November day and listen to poetry and look at art by people you've never heard of. Thank you.
On their birthday.
On my birthday, yes.
Oh,
Thank you,
happy
thank you.
birthday!
I'm going to start with one that was written almost a year ago. It's called Winter's Prayer. This, I got to say, this experiment, Creative Alliance, it's been fun to see. I was paired up with a painter I had no idea. I did not know Daniel Doolin before this, and now I do. And it was a great pleasure. This process has been fun. So thank you. This is anyways called Winter's Prayer. It's for a night like this. Hail, winter, magnificent goddess coming on the air tonight. Farewell, most lovely autumn, more beautiful than even the youngest sister spring. Oh, full and ripe is autumn, wide-hipped, voluptuous. But winter is on the air tonight. The cold is cutting deeper now. Oh, I welcome you, embrace you, silver queen. Cleanse the land, reveal the many branches of the tree. Show yourself in heavy skies, in wounding wind, in soundless snow. The land is in your hands for these 3 months before your pale sister returns again. So summon the demons of sleet and freezing rain. The wood is stacked, the shelves are filled, and my heart sings to smell winter on the air tonight. The other is a love poem. Light shone in her skin and the oceans in her eyes, yet that tiny nose catches scents beyond my senses' reach. A dozen years in her bed, and I am still seeing her for the first time. The last one is called Milagros. And if you're not familiar with the term milagros, milagros is a Spanish word. It means miracles, but it also refers to little, usually silver objects that are attached to shrines and statues in churches, especially in the Mexican culture. They are symbols of prayer. And this poem is called Milagros. Little notes tucked into crevices told such stories. Pain ached from each folded paper, and tiny silver legs and arms and hearts shuddered slightly as we knelt upon the ancient yielding wood. High church am I, but a backwoods rhythm or a Holy Ghost shout can catch my heart unaware. Why not dance like David, vulgar in the marketplace, if the Creator numbers the hairs on your head? The widow's mite and the sword of Damocles, Good Friday homilies on the instruments of Jesus' torture. Witches burned with the image of crucifixion held before their eyes. Lives crushed upon machines and more crushed daily with little looks and tightened lips. Life smothered, love shamed. Death triumphant in the name of the loving God. I know. And yet, little notes tucked into crevices told such stories. Thank you.
I can give it up for Michael Kelly. So Nathan's grabbing another poem real quick. I'm going to do one real quick. If I can remember it. Let's see. It's called Sad Arson Hearts. I only go for girls that dry away with sad arson hearts. The ones I date lit lips. Dragging Zippo clicks across their chest, playfully threaten to go through with it, and I'm a fool. I'm just a fool for that. Some product of my environment. I'm not into girls that nibble on their fingertips, determined to sit because the future's stamped with hopelessness. No, I'm down with the defiant chicks that phoenix out when faced with foreclosure or having their copper dresses stripped. I've learned not all this can be fixed, but I'm stuck on girls that repossess their own destinies. Even if that means a whole squatting inferno, Romeo, Juliet, poison dagger thing. I've spent dizzy nights with girls who giggle about their crumbling lipstick architecture in the bitter Michigan weather.
Wonder if a little fire will bring up clarity. As a kid, I dreamt about fixing the derelict building in my Midwestern city, all of which have since been erased by fire, work crews, and misery. I don't know about CPs or girls and less about the real world, but I've known the sharp pain of heartbreak and disappointment well enough by now that it barely phases me. Sometimes I've seen you have to sacrifice a house full of dreams to find your real home, even if that means setting up camp on a patch of new grass and reimagining. Please help me welcome up Nathan to the stage.
All right, not prepared again, but Nick asked me to come up, so we're gonna try this. All right, this is called Waking Dream. My eyes struggle to fight the gravity of lethargy and sleep. Morpheus beckons to me, tempts and lures me, but I put up all resistance in the hopes of just a moment, nay, a mere second more to bask in her beauty. She has already succumbed to sweet temptation, stretched out and wrapped in blanket and comfort, such a short distance and yet still forever away and near me. And she sleeps soundly in her dark features and dark slumber. What I wouldn't give anything and everything at this moment of longing to simply join her for but mere companionship and curiosity's sake. To know what she creates when all other gods are gone and the universe is hers to make alone in all her godliness with no interference. What dreams does she conjure? What webs does she weave? I cannot help but to think, to ponder and believe that they must be the saddest, and yet so beautiful, oh so beautiful, beautiful thoughts ever thought. Sleep well, my sweet dark angel. I lose the fight to heavy lid as I slip away into the rift. A change not known or realized, it comes and happens oh so swift. And to my thanks and surprise, even here she is present, waiting for me to run and flock and wrap me in her beauty. My heart breaks and weeps. How amazing can one be when waking life or deep in sleep? They are the greatest of all of dreams. Forgive me when I say I cannot help but hope and pray that no matter what, if asleep or awake, I will dream this dream forever. This one is called Ali Lama Sabachthani. That is Armenic for, my God, why have you forsaken me? Give me the ones who are rugged and ragged. Give me the ones who are worn out and old. Give me the ones who not only shed their fear, but embrace it, with no choice but to run amok and burn as their true selves and true thoughts and feelings. The ones who are aware of each difference they possess and refuse to allow the roads they have traveled and the bad decisions they have made and the poor choices they have committed and the scars they have gained to be anything but roadmaps to and as badges of honor that they wear proudly for what is ever gained by playing it safe. The trees look beautiful with arms stretched in green, 'tis true, but they dance in monotony as each leaf resembles the next regardless of where the eye wanders. But when they are alight with fire, red, orange, yellow, brown, burst into flames with their last breaths, that is when the beauty not only shines but burns. I want the breathless, I want the clingers, the damaged and the wounded and the beaten and the broken who wear it all on their sleeves. For does not the flesh of an apple containing small rotten blemish still taste just as sweet around the blemish as the flesh of the apple that secondly shines with no visible disgrace? Does but the smallest of flaws truly designate the entirety void? I, for one, prefer the fruit that wears its imperfection in plain sight. I, for one, would much rather be aware of the small flaw it possesses, allowing me to enjoy the sweet flesh that surrounds it, than bite into what appears perfection just to find its rottenness hidden on the inside. And so I say, give me the ones who have lived so hard, harder than possible and harder than allowed, harder than the pressing of night skies on the vastness of prairie plains, and the ones who have burned so bright, brighter than possible and brighter than allowed, brighter than the ephemeral burst of stars raining through the heavens. Yes, give me those who have lived so hard and burned so bright that they have found no other choice but to stand under the enormity of an endless stretching universal ocean and scream in amazement while cursing in anguish, hallelujah, hallelujah, my God, why have you forsaken me? Give me the ones who have worn their hearts and ate their hearts and saved and betrayed and murdered their hearts. Come to me, my brothers, my sisters, and my friends, come to me. Let us cut out our souls and watch as they pour forth in sweat and blood and tears, down, 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 and yet still down again, to collect like oil spills on concrete, mixing and dancing in rainbow madness. Let us share our scars, dear brothers, my dear sisters, my dear friends. Let us share our souls, so that we might at once and together scream out, but to exist, if only to exist. while we sing in drunken, raptured buffoonery and weep into our drinks.
Thank you, Nathan. All right, we just had a superstar come to the door, so I'm gonna stay here for one moment and read one more poem, if that's cool. Cool. This is by Becca. He's a pretty funny guy, spoken word artist, and this is How to Make It in the Biz. You better have a poem for every holiday, Kwanzaa too, depending on your demographic. Tour in the fall and spring, be bound to this schedule for a decade. Put out products with launches for everything. Be more creative with their execution than with your own. Play Game of Thrones with your network. Strategy serves the external more than integrity does. Call yourself a poet. Make material out of everyone. Drunk and alone in a Hilton you can't fuck. This poem's wasting my time. This sarcasm is the bootstraps no longer in use. This subject is the symbol monkey drowning out compassion. My sword is not meant for cotton candy. Blood is not some bullshit image one teases the palate with. There's a clock in the poet's world that doesn't suit these times, darling dearest. Glory too often granted backstage access to the hyped up gas orgy presentation. So many cutouts shining on a single stage, depositing checks for the glamour shot. I'm not interested in the hard sell that cakes the makeup on. The fan base is not a master. The poems are not trophies on display, artifacts in the water. Gotta excavate what pirates lost. The poem locked up and stolen. The poet chained to her belly, taken by the current to where monsters make their home. Choked on metaphors is an homage to choked on metaphors done to a hip-hop beat. Drowning in the slick mechanics, grind him into position. The puppeteer is a puppet. I too often portrayed just enough to look the part. Hating on the me by hating on the you will never release the dragon. From here on out, the manifestation is an afterthought. I shift gears onto the road unfolding before me, turned off my phone, opened up my simple ears, bought a gun for my brain. No one gets a percentage for being my muse. Yeah, he's not going to joke about it. But this next poet's got an event in GFAC, Sunday, November 17th. She's doing a book release. She's a huge local talent. You guys really need to welcome her up here. Help me support Isis. Come to the stage.
He totally hyped it up. And after saying poetry is just a nice way to talk pretty. How do I want to put out a poem or be a poet, right? Like, he just totally changed the game. Just for a second, I do have a show coming up here November 17th here at the GFAC. We are doing poetry, live music. We have amazing vibes. We have international talent. Raza Blue Angel, he's coming. He's going to be doing a little guitar work and getting nice and casual with you guys. He's gonna leave his pop star life alone and come, just be one of us. We're going to give away some things. We got raffles, my book, Light in the Dark Corner of Your Mind. God, I feel like, you sell yourself. You totally sell yourself as a poet. You just wanted to write pretty things and now, to cross over into this expanding your reach. I totally do poetry to expand my reach. I think that sometimes I say cool things. Not always, but some things I say are probably cool. So I want people to have an opportunity to say, hey, that was cool, or you know what, that did not help me at all. And that's okay with me too. If I sell one book, I'm fine my whole life. I know somebody in the world might have used it for a coaster, for a coffee cup. So I helped, right? I totally helped.
How much for your book?
My book is going to be $10 at the event. Only $10. Oh my God, what a deal! I poured my heart and soul into this thing. You get it for $10. Or you can get it on Amazon for $13, $40 something. Amazon has slowly but surely put it on sale. You know them. And I look forward to seeing some of these beautiful faces here on Sunday, November 17th at 5 p.m. Just a public again. Okay, now since I'm done selling myself, let me give you pieces of myself and let you, once again, rake me over the coals. I don't mind. Let's figure out what part of myself I want to get raked over the coals. I'll do one with a lot of metaphors to really just rub it in my face real quick. This poem is called Star People. I normally stand up, so I won't be lazy. I am a star. No, not celebrity news, Channel 12, television, TV, blues. I am a star. No, not fame and fortune, glitz and glam, wham bam, thank you ma'am. I am a star. No, not paparazzi, pop culture, popular hip hop movie episodes, Twitter feeds, feeding fans on Facebook fan pages. Okay, we're just gonna read that part then. I just got feeding fans on Facebook fan pages, on stages, trying to be VIP backstages, microphone check 1, check 2. I am a star. No, not Elle magazine, photo shoots, cover spreads, spreading legs, video vixen, popping booty cheeks to sample beats, praising freaks to get on the pole and drop them toes for the freaks. I am a star. No 3-point jump shots, taking shots, bottle pops, bar buying, baseball, hot dog, Applegate, and Chevrolet, ain't sharing, footballing with Nike, boxing back more Jack the Daniels. I am a star, people. I'm a star. No buying me new chest sets and bodysuits and booty cheeks, wearing clothes is because you thought they were cooler than noses that you got because he told you were the cutest when you really were just the newest. I am a star, people. I'm a star. Did the phone just ring in the middle? Are you out of work early? Can I call you back in the middle of a poem? Yeah, I'll call you right back. Okay, bye. Has that ever happened to anybody? Is this real life or what? That's real life. I'm a star. I get phone calls and little poems, people. Okay. I'm a star. No hairdresser dressing me up for a salad dressing commercial because Jenny just lost another 20 and she's feeling skinny and her new $3,000 mini skirts too many hurts. Now Minnie flirts with Goofy. Goof trooping getting gooey. Mickey Mouse had a house, now he's shacking with Daisy. And Donald's still working at Ronald's trying to pay the triplets way. See, I am a star. I'm a star, people. No radio raging, face paint and popping collars, plastic of fashion disasters, dodging Doberman pictures of older men with your runway walking, ignorant talking, YouTube, 5 minutes of fame, fabulous drug trials, lying doctor, sugar pill in the game. I'm a star, people. I'm a star. No car chasing in rentals with rims rented from Arabs, repoed by Allstate agents wearing fitteds, writing lyrics just to say they did it, never done it, but some bought guns just to back up what they spitted. Get it? Read it, wrote it, print it. It doesn't sound good. No, it sounds good if they say it. Who knows if they did it? I'm a star. I'm a star, people. I don't know if I need this mic. I'm loud. No movie screen teen queens, wrinkly and spotted not making it in through the front while they sneaking through the back, won't accept that their good run is done and their stardom days been done. I'm a star, people. I am a star. I am an intergalactic haberdasher, shoulder brushing, star dusting, so trust in me when I say I'm a star. You are a star. We are stars, for we are equal. I am a space shuttle looting, antimatter wormhole, galactic soul, planetary protractor. I'm a star, people. So, though my hotlines are headlines and won't make $1 million sequel, I see you. We are equal. You are a star. I am a star. We are the real stars, people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got another one.
We're losing the front row, so since they're gonna leave, I'll do one more. Oh, it's football, people. I'm not attached. I'm not sensitive by all means. Enjoy yourselves. I'm gonna do one that I know off the top of my head, so I don't have to hold my phone. Do I really need this mic?
No.
I love you, we only say it because we know no other way it can be expressed. That's the test. To manifest herbage like verbiage that elevates your consciousness to the planes that contains the languages of the goddesses. My God, this is such bliss. Helpless and hopeless is my heart's grand opus. Heart songs for hard beings are hard for hard beings who believe in normality. Not me. My reality exceeds. Love lands to love galaxies. Guys, you looks at me, touch your fallacy. No, you can't touch me. I'm not a part of your reality. Love songs got love all wrong. It's not all about him or all about she. It's always been all about me. Because the love of self is the healthiest, wealthiest love you can give to somebody else. Love lets self be free to be. So selflessly, just let love be. Don't control, don't hold, don't mold, don't scold. Just L-I-D, let it go, let it flow, let it blow. Ahava, that's ancient Hebrew for love. Ancient tongues, wet with saliva of lovers, like we do. But I'll tell you, when I find words cryptic yet simplistic, spiritualistic yet explicit enough to express my love, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, I'm done. All right, you guys are wonderful.
That's so sweet.
I know. Well, when I saw it at Starbucks today, and I thought, yeah.
This is one of Nathan Hanks' paintings that I didn't get earlier.
That's all I got.
That's nice.
Worst kind of advice you can give anybody is unsolicited advice. They just won't.
Emma. Hi, Emma.
I'm doing better than I was. But I just wish I was I'm doing better than I was.
Okay, I think I'm gonna turn this off for a little bit. So, how do you think the event turned out, Justin? How do you think it turned out?
I think it was all right.
You were one of the organizers. I think you were the main organizer, right?
I'm disappointed that we didn't get more people to turn out.
Well, what do you think? Don't you think it's going to be a nice book,
I'm
though?
glad everybody that did turn out, everyone contributed.
Yeah.
It's really quality this year.
Yeah.
It all looks good on the display.
And it's so much fun.
We got it on video, so if they didn't come, they can watch the movie.
Yeah.
Last year we had stuff stuck on the walls.
In fact,
and stuff that was like kind of random. You know what I mean? Today it looks more like.
Like
there's a couple empty spots. We could have had a few more teams.
Yeah.
There's like Cinda and Steven are supposed to.
Yeah, a few people didn't make it out, but it's kind of always what it is. Not everybody comes through.
Yeah. So Cinda and Steven, come here. I want to show you the spot where you would have been hanging.
Okay.
See, this is where we'd have hung Cinda and Steven's art. But Steven was grumpy that we weren't going to be here for more
so
than
I'm
just
gonna
today.
zoom in on the blank wall where the artwork would be hanging. There, that's what it looks like, just like
That's
that.
where Stephen Michael Pace's painting would be
Yeah,
hanging.
you just imagine it. Yeah.
Inspiration in very unexpected places. I'm so excited you guys are here. You guys excited to be here? Yeah. So we got a couple more poets bring to the stage. You guys ready for that? I'm ready for it. So without further ado, we're gonna invite Becca to the stage. Give it up for Becca.
So this is called A Plea to the Playa. It is beyond my understanding that such a beautiful creature should be brought into this world and be taught to be ashamed of the beauty that she possesses. I cannot conceive how this could happen. Everything that I am is not okay with this. So let me tell you something, playa playa. You chose to play this game and rub trash all over my name, and that is not okay. Whore, slut, dick tease, poser, bitch, cunt. Well, I have heard it all. And I sat back, submissive. I allowed myself to be treated as if I was nothing. It's disgusting. You walk around thinking you own it all, playa. You don't even really know how to play. You ain't got it all. Your games end with empty winnings. You lack real wealth and you call yourself living. So let's talk about your game. You use and abuse to get out on top. You make women feel worthless to build your own self-esteem. But your self-esteem is a joke. It lacks a major factor. It is unrealistic to the core and your roots are a disaster. So your self-worth is based upon other people's perception. You have yet to go in to find your true master. And it fills me with rage to see you act like that. I couldn't even express it in words because if I tried, I would open my mouth and flames would fly. And then I would have to stand there and watch your house burn to the ground. And I would feel so bad, which is sad really, because my inner sanctum, my inner home, where I should always have been able to find peace and calm, well, you have set it on fire 1,000,000 times over. You have kicked it, spit on it, raped it, used it, and all without remorse. And I know it may seem like I can't see it from your point of view, but the thing is, playa, that I really do. I understand that you have been taught to think without even thinking. You are just trying to fit in, I get it. But contrary to what you see on MTV, objectifying women just isn't a cool scene. So I guess you can say you've been played for a fool, but I get it, because I got played too. These things are uncomfortable, I really do understand, but it's time this is dealt with. So if you can hear me play, I'm talking to you. I want you to see that this is salvageable. It just takes some creative action, some time spent within an intense self-reflection. I know, I understand, I went through it all. I felt the guilt and the shame of knowing I used my body as a pawn in your game. I did not respect what was rightfully mine, so it was taken advantage of and left out to dry, because I did not yet know what I had deep inside.
Give it one more time for Becca. She must have been fire, wasn't she? That's kind of around. Alright, I'm gonna read one quickly that isn't mine, but that is kind of cool, and then I'm gonna give it to Brian, and then maybe Drew's interested in doing some poetry. I know Jenny's got some dog stories that we all want to hear, so real quick, this is by Christine Abowitz. And it's called, For the People at Bookstore Readings Who Keep Asking Me Why I Still Slam Now That I Have Real Books Out. Real books being in parentheses. Or quotations.
So conceited.
Because, yeah, conceited. Because the microphone slouches like Bad Boy, whose neck I want to choke. Because sometimes the poem punches its way off my tongue, and other times it needs to be dragged out of my ribcage by its hair. Because I've said things in front of a room full of strangers that I would never say to my own mother, and for good reason. Because I've heard poets say things in front of roomfuls of strangers that made me pulse, made me sweat, made me want to push further, risk everything, be that beautiful. Because sometimes I felt that beautiful. Because sometimes I felt that ugly too. And it was okay. Because I still have stories to tell. Because I've had my heart broken. Because I've had my heart broken and survived. Because I've had my heart broken and survived, and someone told me the poem I wrote about it sucked. Because I survived that too. Because the bear hugs, because the uh-huhs, because of the venomous looks people give to the guy whose cell phone starts ringing. Fuck you, asshole, can't you see we listen to poetry here? Because people are listening to poetry here. Because there is poetry here. Every cracked voice, every stutter, every stamble is poetry. Every shaky piece of paper held by shaky hands, every nervous laugh, every awkward pause. Poetry. Every braided head, every untied shoelace, every spilled beer, every, yo, this is the first time I'm doing this, every, man, it's been a mistake, it feels good to be back. Every time the poet says, this is some new shit, and people in the audience lean forward like a dare, like they're looking like for a light, and the poet's Flint be sparking. Because some nights I didn't feel like it, and it seemed like those were the nights I needed it most. Because I've won, and it didn't make me more of a poet. Because I've lost, and it didn't make me less of a poet. Because I've cheered until my throat ran raw, laughed and cried and fell on the damn floor like fool for poetry. Because I'm a fool for the poetry. Because of the poetry. Because this is poetry. Please help me welcome up. Round of applause.
Thanks, Nick. I admire what Nick does because he's one of a handful of poets who read out without, he'll read his own work basically from memory without any sheets of paper or anything. And there's only very few poems that I've ever written that I have committed to memory, and mostly because I adapted them as songs locally. I'm a songwriter. So I'm going to give a try to read two poems from my memory. This is one I wrote in the early 80s, around 83 or 84, called I Am of the Twisted Brook. And I wrote this after, well, attending school here after having graduated in Standish, Michigan. I wander through this northern wood of maple, ash, and oak. All kings stand and heed the flood, for spring has not yet broke. My trail a mound of snowy ground which tempts my ventured wrath. I am of the twisted brook, I flow no other path. The sun makes love to virgin earth each and every spring. Growth of green beyond the birth, balanced as the wing of eagles, regal flight, unfolding in midair. Sighting sights of twisted brooks, the flow of none so fair. I've shared this world with peaceful men, I've shared this world with beasts. Selflessly I'd share again, till all had known this peace. So read not within printed book, nor follow rule of math. I am of the twisted brook, I flow no other path. This is one I wrote in '93, and it came about by, I was a bit older, approaching 30, probably should have outgrown this, but I didn't. And basically I had a crush on somebody I probably had no right to have a crush on. And so I approached her one day, and she had her claws out and all that fun stuff. And, basically told me, I am not a nice person. And so I went home and I wrote a poem. And stupid me, I went home and I gave it to her. And she walked off. I don't know whether she liked it or not. She walked off with it and never returned it to me. So I had to go back home and write the whole darn thing all over again. So, and I adapted it as a song. Not all the colors of a rainbow can be found inside a prism. Like that shade of red in your head when you've been, too much criticism. Sorry. So could I start up?
You got it, Mo. You got it.
Not all the colors.
I'll slice it, okay?
Not all the colors of a rainbow can be found inside a prism. Like that shade of red in your head when you've been told too much criticism. Tastes bitter like acid in your system, it settles. You wear that stain on your shoulder like a dishonorable medal. Frowning and compounding while the disappointment to your, oh boy. Frowning and compounding while the disappointment, you know what, I don't even know where that's going, but let's go to the next verse. Okay. Somebody picked up a rock and they hurled it full force right at you. Your defenses were such that you reacted just like a statue. Someone else picked up kindness, gift wrapped in a frame. Your defenses were much that you reacted much the same. Your insides all frowning and compounding, and I'm back there again, oh my gosh. Till you're left with this anthem. I am not a nice person. And I've really gotten myself into some problem here. I too have lived on that street in that same house I did reside, but I had to move out because it was killing me from inside. Now, I didn't really move out, I was more like evicted. See, my friends all pointed out that it was all self-inflicted. So if you find yourself haunted and taunted by this anthem, don't pay the ransom. Find a new anthem. I am not a nice person. Or, you know what? I really messed that one up. But thank you guys for
Thank you, Brian. You guys won't believe how incredibly difficult it is to look at all of your smiling, intelligent faces and try to tell you some truth. You know what I'm saying? Brian knows where it's at. So I'm gonna do a quick little poem before we bring up Drew, if that's cool. Say cool.
Cool.
Cool. Before there was only like 2 people in the corner saying cool. I heard like 3 or 4 over here. This is not a nice poem. This is called urban porn. Perverts treat posted properties like prostitutes. Scrappers are sadists. Pride of siding like wrinkled panties heaped across slutty truck beds. Up the street, exploding houses surge with horror and amazement in the ecstasy of gaslight fingering. The east side's horny hunger shows hearth and the hozones trading copper for money shots. Behind the rain-soaked blinds, the walls were ripped down and ravaged by desperate Johns trying to keep up with the Joneses. Drilling over curl-toe, clawfoot tubs, and air ducts forced to get blowjobs. Annealing Holmes' warped wood legs buckled last longer for her spirit in the front porch. She condemns herself with cut and plug mascara caked on to distract from the pimp's hand slapping for sale by owner on her ass. The driveway is shaded by lashes of overgrown branches. The basement trashed and rancid from former tenants and cycles of entrapment. This soul leaves to flee before the coffin gets buried or smashed in. The tricks get stripped and teased into foreclosure. No one seems to care that this is happening. So predictably. At childhood's end, ratty pigtails fray away and live wires stop sparking, but fiends will still pay anyway. Leaving a busted frame barely standing. Another forgotten address, soon to be erased from the tax rolls. Dead inside, waiting like a bomb to be dismantled. Give it up for Brian! This is Brian's piece right here. It's pretty sweet. It's got actual money on it. That's why it's over there where I can keep an eye on it away from you people. He actually had a poet, Terry, who was going to be our awesome host today. Terry couldn't make it, but Brian's part of this too. He just doesn't have the extra piece. But check it out in the book, which by the way, every one of these shows is kind of cool. We publish our participants. So here's a couple examples of past books. These are for sale, $2 and $5. This is only a couple bucks, that's right. This one's going to have a book. Only $2, only $5. This one's going to have a book. So stay tuned for that. Everyone that's in the show should try to get a copy. See Justin in the back. So I'm going to bring up Drew now. If Drew's ready. That's what's up. Give it up for Drew Nelson. So I'm excited to have him back up here.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think the last time you were in Flint for Poetry's Voices, right?
Last year? Yeah. I I think.
That's cool. Thanks for gracing us with your stage.
Hey, thanks, man. My pleasure. This is the only poem that I've memorized, and it's called Feeding the Masses. And I'm gonna start in a second. It's the TV, it's the caffeine, it's the nicotine binge. It's drugs, not for love, but a good fuck. What happened to the morals? They're left behind the house where I smoked my first joint. They're in the bathroom stall where I snorted my first line, and right under my tongue where the acid came to life. It's the TV, it's the caffeine, it's the nicotine binge. It's drugs, not for love, but a good fuck. What happened to the morals? No, I already did that one. I memorized that well. What happened to love? It was abandoned by the masses when John Lennon was shot. It was sold for $5 a hit in the 60s, and it's been gone since the Road River War. 28 natives killed and the rest pushed off the land, and it was swept under a rug in the White House room that became known as the Oral Office. It's the TV, it's the caffeine, it's the nicotine binge, it's drugs. Not for love, but a good fuck. What happened to... Shit, man, it's been a long time. Some other shit disappeared, I promise you. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
It might have been.
He's pretending he's got the phone in his hand and looking at it. That's great. There's nothing there. It's blank.
Looking at my future, bro. Read poems later. It's a Jewish Jesus, it's a war-hungry pacifist, it's charity for the wealthy, it's the human condition leading to the deterioration of life on this planet as a systematic path to extinction. Yeah, that was like a portion of the poem. That was the end.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Clap now. Yay!
I'm sure it's printed somewhere. Actually, I know that it is. Sorry, I was at work all day and did not plan for this. This just happened to be in my friend's car that brought me here. From the last time we went. Oh yeah, since I went to FIA. This one I wrote in Florida when I moved to Florida for a little bit last year and I was missing home. And I wrote it in a coffee shop. Coffee, dark roast. Over here the chatter. This place I found is far. Reminds and draws my soul, like water towards roots. I know not of when this water will return to the soil of home. My heart continues to grow with the plants and love and the soil of the garden that was shared by our lovers and our friends.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going, but I know well where I've been. Balance between virtue and sin. Make rash moves on a whim. Bounce between sobriety and a binge. Find love on a one-night stand. Do less with life than everyone is sure that I can. Well, I'm fine at this pace. There never was a race. In my mind, I'm fine right where I stand. Thank you.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I meant by that. That's
Oh,
right.
well, thank you. Thank you, Drew. This is really well clap. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys paying attention and enjoying this awesome day. We're going to bring an awesome poet to the stage. His work is just behind this wall with some of Alice Strong's art. Help me welcome up Carl Rogers.
So yeah, we were running a bit before. I didn't realize I was doing this until about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
The next thing I was asked to read for is for a friend's benefit, so I'm glad to get a little bit of practice in and have some idea what I'm doing. The first one that I wrote there, well, you guys can see the pieces. They're like 2 feet away. So, how did I get stuck in this maze of a place where the obstacles feel sometimes too much to face? Too many teachings, too many preachings, blindly buying into a worldview. Don't be you, do what we do. But as consciousness awakens, third eye focus is clear. I suddenly think, what am I doing here? Leaving behind possessions, useless things that were bought, and societal normatives too often taught. A huge weight is now lifted. Which way to go? Universe is my Sherpa, just follow the flow. Find my path to my place. When I get there, I'll know. My spirit flying wildly as I come to the shore. Feel the breeze, feel the water, wet sand and stones at my feet. To be here in this moment, so free and so sweet.
Yeah.
This one I wrote along with a piece that Allie had done of like an old vacant house that, you know, we're obviously used to seeing various places around here, but with some definite signs of life, some things starting to grow around it, you know, some real signs of revitalization, just like we've also all seen around here. Once this place was beautiful, to behold was quite a sight. Children's laughter filled the halls, and adults once loved all night. But when the shop had closed its doors, the final whistle blew, city lights ceased to shine no more. Those who remained, they locked their doors. A cloud hung there for many years and blocked most of the light. But life will find a way, you know, to grasp the day and night. Rebirth, renew, revitalize, draw eyes and smiles once more. For life will find a way, you know, to open up closed doors.
Yeah.
And then this one I wrote when I was just, you know, somebody was dying on Flint and just hadn't seen the stuff that we see and, you know, a lot of the people that are here and all that. So I kind of, you know, tried to more peacefully deal with the situation instead of confronting him on it. Walked away and just chilled out and wrote. And I came up with, I know this place I call home, full of beauty, love, and light. Some never know because hearsay keeps them away at night. Where hoops and poi more likely to fly than violent shots. Where the talent's always vibrant, and the music's always hot. The activists are waging battles too seldom fought. So come and meet my family, we'll be glad to show you around. Let go of preconceptions, come get down and Flint down.
Yeah.
First time ever reading. Wasn't he badass? Come on! Yeah! Alright, so you guys can't forget we have the best deal in town. We got this 50-50 raffle for only $1 a ticket. That means only $1. That means if you get picked, and there's not that many, so you have a pretty good chance you get half the winnings. The other half goes putting on events like this. You guys having a good time, right? So it's worth supporting for $1. Admission's free. See Jenny or Justin or me or anybody with tickets, we'll hook you up. Also in the back, we got Chad doing these stickers. They're $3. Our donations to help Julie Moore. She's having some hospital bills right now, needs to be taken care of. There's going to be also a benefit on the 23rd, downtown, like a pub crawl type thing, and like silent auctions. Everything goes for her hospital bills. Come up to that. Dinner at the lunch studio. Music, cool stuff, all the bars downtown. $3 in the back, see Chad. I'm going to bring up Nathan next. I know you guys need to hear a little bit of his awesomeness, so welcome Nathan back up to the stage.
You hate those dog stories, don't you? You hate those dog stories, don't you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to say in a mic stand, but I know Nick will yell at me, memorize, memorize.
Okay.
All right. This is called Fallen Leaf. One day while walking through the woods, trying my best to forget a memory, leaving behind just my footprints and in hope an old part of me, I came upon an age-tall tree, standing proud and standing high, laced with icing of fragile snow, its branches stretched into the sky. I asked myself what it could be, why I noticed this particular tree, before then realizing what it was, observing a single crumpled leaf. I looked at all the other trees, their leaves had all long been gone, stolen by fall's harsh winds and resting under winter's lawn. But this leaf still hung in place amongst a world of wondrous right, refusing to come tumbling down without putting up the best of fights. I could see my breath in the cold, watching as random downy flakes struck the leaf's bumpy surface, causing it to delicately shake. Standing silent, I gazed upon it, my heavy breathing the only sound, then watched as it broke away, starting to descend down towards the ground. It took its time, drifting on the wind, not in the least bit rushed nor hurried, ripped away by a simple breeze after having faced chilled winter flurries. No reason struck me for my stopping to waste some time on a simple leaf, as the wind let it tumbling, tossing, destined towards a nearby creek. Its fate struck me as determined, regardless how it seemed to fight, ripped through the frigid air like a lost and stringless kite. As the wind began to slowly die, the leaf increased its decline down. I reached my hand above the creek, and it gently landed without a sound. I let it rest there on my chapped palm, holding it with the most intensive care, the chance of it crumpling in my hand rising to be the greatest of my fears. In time I brought it close to my face, examining each and every detail. It looked so old, its beauty lost, wrinkled, crinkled, weak and frail. Logic screamed to forget about it on the forest floor where it belonged, but it sang enchanting melodies, reminiscent of a banshee's eerie song. The snow was falling harder now, the clouds were getting thicker. Every time that winter breathed, the leaf would shiver and flicker. What had brought me to this leaf? Perhaps I thought maybe fate. But as much as I could want to save it, the time for that was now far too late. I placed it gently as could be in the center of the forest trail, then turned around and walked away, wishing that leaf a final farewell. As I gained my distance from it, though, thought inspired, I could finally see the reason for its hypnotic charm was, in a way, it resembled me. I turned around fast with hope to see the old fallen leaf, but the snow had grown in depth and now it rested underneath. So I continued walking through the woods, the day soon to be a memory, leave behind just my footprints and an old and dead fallen leaf. Let's see what else we got here. This is a meeting with a stranger. I walked along a path of old, covered in fall's leaves of gold, once hidden under winter's snow that were now to spring a stranger. Amongst the woods that surrounded me, and all the tall budding trees, and all the splendors to be seen, I was just a stranger. Suddenly, I was taken aback with surprise by something that happened to catch my eye, an object of peculiar size that to me was a stranger. That object on the worn dirt path that split the spring's fresh green grass was a man from my days gone past that was now simply a stranger. And as his image grew bigger from small, as time passed by, as it passed us all, the memories poured in and I recalled what had made him a stranger. When we met with all there was to say, we simply smiled, said hi and waved to make up for all the long lost days that passed while we were strangers. I wanted to tell him so much more to help heal the old scars and sores, but I'm afraid I could not, for he was now a stranger. Yet, as we passed that warm spring day, I did not look back nor look away, but I kept on my path and stayed, forevermore a stranger. Just a couple more. Oh no, I looked up and I almost started shaking. No. This is called Winter's Only Light. Winter knocks on the old rustic door and darkness stares in the frosted windows. The wind howls and softly whispers as it slams against the sturdy walls outside and blows through each crack and crevice of the aged, worn-out wooden cabin. Besides a rickety table, the room is empty. A lonely candle sits in its saucer on the table, illuminating a small halo of glowing light. The light protects and counsels me from the extreme coldness and darkness of the winter night and its noises. I am overwhelmed with gratitude as well as grief as I watch the candle's poor flame struggle its hardest to fight off the oppressive darkness as its waxy tears drip down its sides. I fear that it will consume its entire self before the night moves into the distance, that its light will disappear in a poof, and as its last breath disperses into the air, the darkness will engulf the small room. I fear the night and the enormity of the darkness, and all its desolate connotations as it rushes into whatever area it can, filling space with its presence of absence and weighing on everything present. But if I just close my eyes, it doesn't matter, for I can always just assume that the candle is still burning and the light is still shining. Last one. This is liability of dreaming. I've gathered quite a query of stones and mud and ice, and I can build as many walls I like, standing straight and tall and nice, with all this hidden sacrifice, to keep the pain away. But what is that you say? The stolen wings of an angel tied to your back with bloody twine, no wall shall hold me, in reference to all that is mine. I shake and clench in the chilling air, there is no roof for these walls of mine. A skill I never quite obtained, or perhaps rather had to sustain from fear of the darkness and all it brings. But down and down you descend as the sun flees and the moon climbs high, to find me huddled on the floor, hugging my pillow in lullaby. You bite my nails down to the skin till blood spurts forth in brilliant shades of red. Place your sidle around my neck and awaken the monsters under my bed. I can hear their claws scratching, feel them tearing up into my back, whispered words in the deafened ears, calling me to relax. Spin your fingers in my lucid froth, drawing contours and filling colors inside my vulnerability. Breathe a breath of discontent, sending spiraling signals of servitude and shaking up my wavering stability. Be gone, I beg and plead. Please give me but a moment for the memories to cease. I suppose no other choice can be made than to start my roof today. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So find yourself a place of new. My dreams are no longer a home for you.
I asked you to read a whole book today or something. I appreciate you having a lot of material. He actually went home and got more poems. He's such a good sport about it. So, without further ado, I've been putting this off all day and I feel really bad about it. We need to get Jenny on the stage. She's got this really phenomenal chapter book she's writing, and she's going to give us an excerpt from it. And it's, she's going to get it. You want to hear a poem? Yeah. Well, we're going to get this instead. The boom times are gone and so was prosperity. The only boom that makes money now involves liquor store robbery and business is good. Behind weed, greed, exploitation is the backbone of our economy. Heavens forbid someone forgive the need to survive and no one provides hope or a living salary. The unions established a false sense of security with ease of certain things, like summoning cash by smiling, smug, sawed-off fangs reminds us the devil works in mysterious ways when coping with desperation or hunger pains, or of seeking alternatives to martyrdom, a minimum wage. Even with paradise underfoot, inner demons cause generational pain. Maybe instead of being the destitute descendants of opportunity's haze, perhaps horny schematic demons is a more fitting phrase. I mean, isn't that what the headlines read? Action news spicing up the verbiage, planting seeds, and in TV times like these, everybody needs a sacrificial savior to disrupt the feed, or a monk making a stand, gasoline for the fields to take the lead, but that's not me. You ready? Fiends seeking to the funeral by fire trucks, crack a beer look as Arson City catches in on bad luck and low self-esteem. Slashers spewing flames, delayed results for fools falling for a hangman's dream while leaders drive away in full ironies, trailed by folded factories. You sure? Stay here long enough, there's real chance of getting stuck, stoned or broken, a pothole rut. A loony wolf tricking and twiddling thumbs while the trapper comes instead of gnawing off its own foot. Help me welcome up.
May you always see life through the eyes of a happy child. And it goes with Nathan's painting, and then I'll put a little picture of his painting in there. Cool.
And that's the one right here next to his wig. It says smile and it's got the bow on it. Not like a ribbon bow, but like a bow. Alright, this is an old one. And if you know anything else, I'm just going to go to the 50-50 raffle, which again, you still buy tickets for, Nathan. Only $1. Orange Bowl. You win some money. Pay for an experience.
I like two.
The food alone is worth hundreds, so just consider that.
You know, tear them off and put your money in the box.
Yeah.
So. Real official around here.
Keep the blank back stub. Can you also help him, Justin? Put the line stub in the bucket. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah,
it's kind of confusing. The game of life is full of snakes and ladders. An occasional doll to cherish, and Play-Doh gods pay millions of Monopoly money. We create role models, molded and formed in an Aryan Elite 12-pack Roy Rage G.I. Joe and Detox Botox Saline Beauty Barbie. Plastic perfection and painted faces hide hollow-minded emotion and pain. Like a 9-year-old child, only the hideous and obscene keep the games interesting. Write your own storyline, speak for me, fantasize, scandalize. Cheaply made toys crumble from the play while others melt unnoticed in the sun. New toys constantly leap from the shelves for attention, wide-eyed and wondrous. We choose those to hold dear this week and those to abandon the next. All right. So, without any other open micers.
I want a quick thanks for Nick and Jenny.
Hey, let's thank you guys for coming out. We have so much food you guys are going to help us eat before we leave for tonight. I want to thank GFAC for letting us have the space and for making those walls nice and easy and accessible to us this year. We appreciate that. All right, I'm going to have to ask for someone from the crowd to help me do the drawing.
Oh, you want to do the drawing on the film too?
Oh yeah, we're going to do it on film.
Okay.
You, miss, in the corner, could you help me? Yes, you. Get the bowl.
That's the
Has everyone bought a ticket that wants to buy a ticket?
The stranger.
Only $1.
Skirt. Only $1.
I know you guys bought like 20.
Who's doing the drawing?
She's doing the drawing.
Oh, okay. Emma.
Of the Creative Alliance.
Yes.
All right, thank you guys.